And hello, everyone. I'm Pamela Davis. Welcome back to this episode of the Well Done Life podcast. If you're new here, hey, how are you? If you've been here before, I'm really glad that you're here. I am really excited this week. We have a wonderful guest that I'm very excited about sharing with you guys. Her name is Gracie Benedith-Cane, and we are going to talk about her business, Braille Code, but also her journey to this business and her life and family, and just dive right in. So, Gracie, to start it off, why don't you introduce yourself to the Well Done Life audience?
Hi, well done, life. This is Gracie B. Kane. That's what I call myself sometimes. um, and my company is called Braille Code Inc. I'm a proud married mother of three wonderful kids, and I started my business through my inspiration, my firstborn son, Wani, who was born with septo-optic nerve dysplasia. He is legally blind and wonderfully made, is what we call him. Legally blind and wonderfully made.
Well, I think that is beautiful, and I love how you were able to turn something like that into this business that helps. I'm sure not just obviously your son, but other people. How did you make that determination that that was where you wanted to go?
Uh, I did see a lot of uh, I've seen a lot of things that weren't out there for kids like him,
Mhm.
people like him. There weren't any products labeled in Braille and things like that. So I actually had an epiphany. I actually was a legal secretary for a couple of years, and I knew that wasn't it for me, but I didn't know what I was supposed to do in my life until I was laid off. And literally, like 3 weeks later, um, I was sitting in my living room and I saw in the ceiling, in the ceiling of my apartment,
Uh-huh.
saw Braille and I saw patches and I saw things that had like it said back and it said, and I was just like, and I honestly I wasn't even scared. I just was like, what is that? Like, what is happening? And there's no one there to confirm it. No one was there to kind of say, what do you see? I don't see what you see, but I knew right then and there. I knew what was I supposed to do? I was supposed to do this for my son and for life. Like, this is my mission, is to actually help people just like him. And it really confirmed that in life, you know, nothing is in vain. Whatever you are born to do in life, and you thank God for that, because a lot of people don't reach there, but you have a special needs child and you're actually wondering why, and then this epiphany happens and you're like, okay, so he was born for this. He was born for the world, our mission and our to help everyone who is like him. And I was just elated. I was like, what? This is a big thing, God. Like,
Right.
okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's do
I
it.
I love that, and like you said, it's not always, I'm sure, easy in moments like that to, see the epiphany that God wants to give you. How did you get there too? Because I know, I mean, obviously, that's not always easy. I come from a family of, parents who raised a child with special needs, and it's not easy because there's lots of guilt associated sometimes with that. How did you overcome that in order to be able to be at a point where you could receive that kind of messaging?
I really took that epiphany on as the reasoning of all of it.
Mm.
That is not about me. It's not about me. I maybe feel, oh my God, what happened? But when you set yourself aside and really see the bigger picture, that my plan was to do this job for for such a community that to me has been neglected, still neglected. Um, I just really, to this day, to this moment, I promise you that I always kind of get back into God. I go back into God place, is what I'm going to call it, for lack of a better word.
Mhm.
But I go into Him and not make it about me.
Yeah.
Yes, I was devastated. I could not believe that my firstborn child, and I was a single mother, to
Mhm.
actually be like, okay, really? What am I supposed? I don't know anybody like him. I don't know what to do. I have no clue what to do. Um, And when I had that epiphany, and then my mother, of course, my beloved mother, always telling me, God, God. She kept throwing God and telling me God has the final word. God, and I really, when I focus on Him, He guides me through it all, and it gives me that blessing. I feel blessed. I really feel blessed to be in the position that I am, to be the mother to this wonderful kid, and having God guide me through it. Because when I'm confused and going through stuff, He always either sends someone or something to remind me that I'm not alone and that He's always with me. Yeah. To this
Yeah.
day.
And that's wonderful because I know faith is just so important, especially when we're in seasons of our lives and trying to move through different things. So being able to cling into your faith and be able to know, God is with you. And like you said, as a single mom, I could only imagine how stressful that is trying to balance it and balance your emotions and
Yeah.
everything like that.
Yes.
Um, Now that you've been in this season for a while, because how old is your son now?
He is now 15, Jesus. Like, I
Oh,
can't believe it. I live with the kid every day. And I'm like, you're 15 years old. And like me, he's an old soul. He's very mature. He's very smart. Um, and yeah, this week has been something for me regarding his school. He's mainstream now. I took him out of his school for
okay,
that was for visually impaired people. Like, he was with people just like him. And
right.
I moved, and the trajectory, the transportation was just crazy. So I mainstreamed him to a school 7 minutes away, and it's a sighted school.
Okay. How is
No,
that going?
listen, yeah, this was what, Tuesday, Wednesday, bawling because it's 2 months in, and he has his lowest average is 83. I'm like, what? Yeah, he's doing 83 and up.
That's
He's
awesome.
doing excellent, like 80s, 90s, 100, all
Okay.
through his classes, 8 classes, very vigorous, very hard for
Mhm.
transforming Braille to print. But, I didn't mean to go that,
No,
into
because
this
I think that
route, but
that's a good thing to talk about just because again, I mean, you're not just talking about obviously a younger child in elementary school. Now you're dealing with someone in high school.
high school.
And I hate to say it, but we don't talk a lot about special needs children as they advance through the education
Oh,
system. And you're getting ready to prepare him for college. So how
yes.
are you feeling about being at this phase right now?
The thing is, I know, again, because of my mother and because of God, I have set myself in them, so I feel strong. I feel very assertive. So I'm that way with people who are with Wani. I tell people, okay, look, this is a special kid. We have to do what we have to do for him. I'm very assertive in the way that I'm expecting the best.
Right.
I'm expecting for you to do the best and give him the best as your job entails, and do what you have to do for him. So when I come up with this type of assertiveness and this type of, yeah, I'm right here. I'm right here. What's up? Yeah, I'm that mom, you know.
Right.
So they have followed through. They have, he has an awesome aide. He has an awesome vision teacher. And these women have been working so hard for him. I mean, transcribing things from print to braille, writing things down for him on a day. It's a lot of work. And God bless the teachers who now have to adjust their teaching tools for him,
Yes.
and they're willing to do it.
That's awesome.
Yes, it's people's job to do their job, but it's special when they feel open to do something different
Mhm.
and willing to help a child, just that one child, because he's the only visually impaired child in that school.
Oh,
He's
wow.
the only
Okay.
one. Okay. So that's the adjustment has been very special for me. I've been feeling so blessed, and because I felt that the special needs schools, I thought the school he was in was kind of pacifying him and making things light for him and things like that. And that's not the case. Like, he's doing just as well in a cited mainstream school as he was there. So I know that it's him. He's
That's
excelling,
great.
you know.
That's awesome. I was gonna ask you, like, obviously when you started the business and he was younger then, now that he's becoming obviously an adult and his needs are changing, how is that impacting how you approach your business?
That's a very good question. He is very into the business, mostly with our children's book. Our children's book is What's Cool About Braille Code School.
Oh,
So
very nice. Okay.
this is our book, and
Okay.
we have transcribed copies that are in Braille. I don't know if you can see
Oh,
it,
yeah.
but you
Very
see the
nice.
Braille, right?
Okay.
So we go into sighted schools to teach awareness, like to have them aware of how he lives, how life is for him, how he
Mhm.
adjusts, and the book is about the three. My logo is my three blind mice, and I brought them to life so that they can navigate the sighted world. And they're just three positive characters. I reclaimed the three blind mice completely. I reclaimed it to positivity in general, like in positive in every aspect. And they are just navigating the sighted world and letting the sighted world know that we're capable. We're doing it. We're doing everything. And what we do at the schools, which is super, is it's so much fun. We love it. We look forward to going into the sighted schools. He walks in with his cane and then no one knows what's happening, what to expect. And he comes in and he tells the history of Braille and how Braille came about with a 15-year-old Louis Braille who invented it at 15 years of age,
Oh,
way
wow.
back when he was 15 years old. And he decided to do Braille and name it after himself. And he tells the reasons why, because with Louis Braille, he got injured with his eye with an awl, which is like a almost like a two like an ice pick. It's a
Oh,
small ice pick. His father had a stool. His father had a farm, and his father used to make saddles, and he would have to make holes inside of the saddles to sew them and make them.
mhm.
And at 2 years of age, he accidentally injured his eye with it. It
Okay.
caused an infection, and it went over to the other eye, and he became blind. But with that same awl, that same tool, he used it to put on paper to do Braille.
Wow.
So it's just amazing. It's an amazing story. And we actually show them cane use at the schools, and we show them how he reads with his fingers. And I tell you that sighted kids have no idea how blind kids read because it's not their world. Even teachers, they look around and, oh my God, they have no clue. Some of them do not know. It's not their world. So
Right.
he sits and he shows them how he reads with his fingers, and he reads just as fast as they do with their eyes, and they are amazed. And it's an experience that they never forget. They never forget it.
Oh, I'm solely sure because again, you when you're sighted, you take it for granted, I think
Oh
sometimes
yes.
naturally,
Oh
that
yeah.
the expectation is that you're always gonna be able to see, but you don't know, unfortunately, things can happen and you can lose your vision, and I always, I'm amazed at the resiliency of people when they lose a sense
Yeah.
or they lose, you know,
I'm
like
sorry, my 5-year-old. I know you can hear him so clear.
that's okay. Everybody y'all can hear. I mean, this
Hey,
is
this is
real life.
life.
This
Yeah.
is life.
He has a fever.
Oh, and that's okay.
He's sick.
He's sick in the air quotes, everybody. She's like, he's
Running
sick.
around. He's
Aw,
running around. He's right. Yeah, but he's sick. Okay,
child,
let's
he's probably tired. You don't believe it, but he's tired. He's just running around. But no, it's okay. So I admire that resiliency and how he does it. And I was gonna say that's a very good question. Now he has to how many other children do you have?
I have two other kids, and my last baby, who's 5, who's running around, he has a speech delay. So it's
Okay.
just so opposite of what Wani is.
Mhm.
Wani was always he talked before he walked, and now with Zaire, it's another world. It's another set of therapists and
Okay.
things like that. But I have two special needs children, and I have 3 kids. I have two boys and a girl. And
Okay.
my middle child, I just thought of you when I thought of her, because she is the neurotypical child who feels she has, I feel you guys, unbeknownst to you, or maybe you do know, you guys feel like you have an extra responsibility for your siblings, and how it's like, okay, I have to be that person because I'm able,
Right.
I'm more able than them, and that's who she is,
Okay.
and I do my best to give her the most attention and not attention, but the most appreciation in a way.
I understand.
I appreciate all of them the same, but with her, is she's such a special kid. Here we go. Here we go.
It's okay. It's
Say,
okay.
say hello so you can go. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Oh, guys,
Good.
so
Okay.
adorable. Zaire
Thank
is
you.
so cute.
Close the door. Close the door. Charge your iPad so you can continue.
That's why I said this is like real life,
This is real life.
This is what we do on the podcast is real life. So
That's why I said I've got to keep going. I said I'm not going to cancel. I'm just going to go ahead.
It's
He's
okay.
sick, but he's okay. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to do this.
No, he's adorable. And it's so funny. Yes,
Thank
you are
you.
correct. As a middle child, it is definitely that, yeah, that weird kind of like you do feel that responsibility. So yeah.
And in my head, I tell myself, I'm very conscious of this, of that dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm always making sure that she's good. I'm always making sure and giving her that attention. And that's what I mean by that. And she is the girl, which is so much fun. So we can do a lot of girly things, and that's the cute and fun part. I love her hair. I love doing her hair.
Right.
I cut my hair because of her. I wanted to just focus more on her. I permed my hair because of her, to give more attention to her beautiful, full black, beautiful hair, and
How old is she?
she's 11 now.
Okay, that's quite the age. 11.
Yes, that is quite
age.
the age. And I'm learning as I go. I'm like, okay. And they're 3 different people. So you got to treat them all differently. It's overwhelming that I have to be like, okay, who do I give it to? Okay, one moment. Okay, you come,
Right.
this thing. But with her, I just want to make her feel she's the girl, like she is, and it's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful.
I think that is so sweet, and I love how you guys have that dynamic. I was going to ask how do they all interact with, as siblings with special needs, and obviously your daughter. What is their relationship dynamic?
Your questions are bomb, by the way. Your questions are so good. Because this is not something that's really spoken about, is that dynamic. And I'm so, being that I do work from home, I'm watching. So Niara, her name is Niara.
Okay.
Wani and Niara are so close. They're very, very close. They speak the same kind of language. They have their own language, and they finish each other's sentences sometimes. So it's like, and they're almost the same height because she's a very tall girl. So I pass them off as twins sometimes. But she, not to say protective of him, but she guides him. She knows his needs, with Wani and with Zaire, and Zaire is 5, so me and Zaire mostly roll together.
Right.
And they stick together. You have a boo-boo?
Hey, what a boo here.
You have a boo-boo?
Yeah.
Okay. 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 All right. Close the door.
Okay. Child, he's not, because Zaire's like, look, y'all are on TV. Y'all are on.
Exactly.
And
He's
so
like,
I want to be
there's a lady on the screen. I gotta know what's up with her. I need to know.
Zaire just wants to be in the know. It's okay.
Yeah. So Zaire and I mostly hang together. Zaire's like the annoying little brother for now. It's what it is. But them two, their relationship is so special. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I said that how much I respect that relationship. That sibling relationship where I stand back and don't even get involved. They have such a special, beautiful relationship, as I do with my siblings. I have 5 siblings, and it's so, I love that dynamic is within them. They're cool. They're great together.
And I love that, because I think, again, we don't really ever talk about the dynamics between siblings, and especially when there's a special need involved, just because I don't know. It's just odd. I have to admit, I love that. I wish my sister and I were not very close. We were close growing up, but like not close. And I
Okay.
think it was more so because of the age difference. I'm 5 years older than her.
Okay.
But as she grew up and I got older, we caught right up. So like
Exactly.
she is my best friend.
Yes.
And
Oh gosh.
I like my best friend, like my buddy, my ABC, my 1, 2, 3.
Exactly.
And so I love how your kids have that young, because sometimes I think we don't talk about it enough just because it can be very different. I have to admit, growing up, and I've told my sister as much now, I didn't understand completely her dynamic, her special need. And I
Yes.
think partly because of how my parents chose to deal with it, they were not, because it was a different time. I mean, I'm a little bit I'm older. So it
Mhm,
was a different time, a different season.
mhm.
Now, I think for parents with special needs children as well as children without special needs, there's more of an opportunity for, honest conversation around
Yes.
everybody's emotions and
Oh
trying
my
to
God, it's so
understand
true.
it
Mhm.
versus before. I have to admit, growing up, I used to think, well, my sister was the favorite because she was special, and
That's
I'm not the favorite.
yes. Oh my God. And that has been my thing to be so aware of. I'm
Mhm.
constantly aware of that. I remember Niara because they're 4 years apart.
Okay.
And I remember Niara with Wani, she never felt that because she was the girl. But on top of that, she wanted a cane. She wanted a white cane. She wanted to have a white cane just like him. And
Mhm.
she had an umbrella. She tried. And Zaire, the same thing. Anytime Wani hangs his cane, he's
Right.
out there trying to grab it so he can walk around with it. But I think it's because Wani makes it look so cool.
Right. And so they're probably like, wow, I want to be like
I
him.
want to be like him.
Yeah.
It's cool, and we laugh about it. We all laugh about it. But she was almost in tears when she was like 3 or 4. Like, I really want a cane. I want a cane. I was
Aw.
like, but you don't need it. You understand? But she didn't get it. She didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And now she sees Zaire, who's 5 now, and she's like, ah, yeah, I get it.
Right.
I get it. And he doesn't speak, but he's showing how he's trying to grab that cane or that
Mhm.
umbrella, and he's walking around like his brother. So I think as a parent, we made Wani's special need to be such a cool thing, to be
Mhm.
such a special thing,
Right.
and it being uh something that there is no shame at all.
Right.
I mean, like, zero shame in it. And his exposure, how we show him to the world, even when we're walking down the street, people are always staring. They are always staring. Everyone. We walk into a Walmart, it's overwhelming how much people are looking,
Mhm.
and I tell him, I'm like, people are, as always, he's like, let them stare. He's like, I don't care, but we joke around and we play a lot when we in the streets. I don't know why, but we're walking and I'm bumping him, he's bumping me, and we're just having a good time. We
Right.
and it's not something that looks hard and looks like a burden, you
Yeah.
know. It's none of that, and he's never felt it. We've never given it to him as a family
Mhm.
in a whole, and it's been. I think it's how we approached the situation and
Mhm.
how I changed my mind frame, even to actually find someone to get married and have 2 more kids. That whole mind frame, you
Yeah.
understand? Because if I would have been stuck in that shame place, in
Right.
that burden place, in that sad or why me place, I would have never been where I am right now. And Braille Code would have never existed because it would be something that I wouldn't want to have any attention. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and that's where I was talking about, like, if I think about it, and my parents, there was never a shame about my
Good.
sister's disability, but it wasn't something that back then in
Right.
the late 70s, early 80s, like things like that were not discussed
Oh,
because
shown.
or shown. It was kind of
Yes.
like you dealt with it and you kept moving versus learning how to really embrace what the
Yeah.
special need is and celebrate the difference
Right.
and show that
Right.
and make adjustments, because that's another thing too. I mean, back then in the late 70s, early 80s, schools were not making concessions for children with special needs, especially Black and brown children
Oh
with
my goodness.
special needs. They were not. I think about even
Mm.
myself, when I was in, I think it was in either, I think it was in the first or second grade, I was put in special needs in a special education class for speech, because they told my parents at that point in time that I was not able to communicate effectively.
Oh,
And I remember my first grade teacher told my parents I would never graduate high school. And, like, I didn't have a special need, and then I think about how my sister matriculated also through the system back then. She
right.
kind of like she was like Zaire, she had a speech delay,
Yeah.
and so and there's also she has a developmental disability. But
Hmm.
same situations, and teachers, were not empowered, I think,
Right.
then, and it was very rare to find educators who supported, especially Black or brown children, moving through the system that way. So I think this is a totally different generation.
It is. It really is. When I think about, because I had to even teach my mom
Mhm. Yeah.
how to behave, how to react
Mhm.
to Wani. I remember one time we were at a party and she was like, "Look how you go out and you dance with him." She said, "That is so in other words, you don't hide him."
But you shouldn't.
Yeah. But it's that
Yeah.
mentality
Yeah. Yeah.
of back then that he
Yeah.
wouldn't even be at the party. You understand?
Right.
He
Mhm.
wouldn't be at the party. Wani used to have issues with um, loud sounds.
Mhm.
He hated parties. He hated going to parties
Okay.
at Zaire's age, 4, 5, 6 years old. He hated it, and we still kept. We like, look, you're going to the party. You're not. What are you going to do? Stay home by yourself? You're 5 years old. We're going to pack your things and we're going to a party. And he dreaded it, and he would spend the whole time with his ears covered. We would take him outside, bring him back in, take him outside, bring him back in, facing him into that uncomfortableness
Yeah.
to get him adapted. Now, I mean, a couple of years later, turned 10, he goes to the DJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, could you put this song on? Can you put can I have the mic?
Mhm.
Because he sings as well. He's a
Oh,
singer.
wow. I love it.
He's a singer. So he's been singing since he was 6 years old,
Mhm.
and he started to adapt. So it's just actually in what I'm trying to say is, the more you expose the child and the more you show them out into the world, it
Mhm.
makes people understand you more. It makes them be seen, but
Right.
also them adapting to this world who they feel is not really accepting of them. You know what I mean? I kept pushing him out there, and my mother was like, wow, and to the point that when we walked down the street, my mother would take him and walk with him. I'd be like, okay, like, before she wouldn't know how to guide him. She wouldn't
Right.
know, and also the people staring, it causes different emotions inside of you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes you mad. Sometimes it makes you sad. Sometimes it makes you smile back at them. And I went through all those phases in his life,
Yeah.
every phase.
Right.
And to this point, there's times that my husband would take him if people are staring that much. There's points
Yeah.
he's like, let me take him because it's OD today. This is what he
Right.
said. It's OD today. I'll take him. But
Yeah.
I always walk and I'm smiling so people smile back. They smile back. Sometimes they stop us and talk to us, and they talk to me instead of talking to him. And I say, you can talk to him. He can, because no one knows. They automatically see the cane and see, okay, special need. He maybe doesn't talk. He maybe doesn't have cognitive skills. It's all of perception
Yes.
till you speak to this boy.
And then it's like it blows your mind,
Oh my
and
God.
yeah, and
You
and I
talk
have
to this
to,
boy.
and I think that is, to me, when I look at it now, that is something that, as people who without special needs, it is something that I wish more people did. Like, I don't, if I saw your son, I wouldn't stare, because I understand what that's like. You know
Right.
what I mean? As
Right.
somebody who is around someone with special needs, like if you were to look at my sister, you would probably have no idea that she had a special need. If you talk to her, it depends on how she's comfortable talking with you. If
Right.
you could possibly even tell that she may have a special need. Like it's not something that is so visually
Visible.
outside, but at the same time, if people learn to put past your own perceptions and
Right.
thoughts of what someone's life is like and actually open yourself up to learn what someone's life is really like, I think we would be surprised at a lot of the things that we tend to have a lot of thought about.
And
It's not
judgment,
that in judgment
judgment,
about, it's not
perceive.
that deep. Like
Yeah.
people are out here living their best life.
Yeah. Because people tell me I'm so sorry. I remember that, like, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. What are
Mhm.
you sorry about? He's better than you and me put together. And I
Right.
tell them that. I'm like, that's one of
Yeah.
my sentences all the time talking to someone. I'm like, he's better than you and me, believe me.
Mhm.
This kid right here. And times I look at him and I tell him, I don't know why I worry so much about you. I don't know why I worry so much. Me myself, I used to be like, oh my God.
Mhm.
Now it's like this kid. And when you do see Wani, you can see something is up with his eyes. You could see it because his eyes are low. His eyes are always low. So it's
Mhm.
like he's looking like he's sleepy,
Okay.
when he's walking about. You could kind of see as he moves around how
Mhm.
he moves his body. You
Right.
can see that.
Yeah.
But it's so automatically that, like, I'm
Right.
just so sorry. And I'm like, we're
Mhm.
not. This,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. It's
it's such, I don't know, for me, I wouldn't have him any other way. I swear to God made him so wonderful, and so he made him so well. His heart, his soul, his spirit.
Mhm.
The fact, again, with the school having this parent teacher conference, and they all are like, oh my God, we love him. He is such a great kid. You did such a great job with him. And that's the beauty as a special needs parent. As you're raising this child and you're learning them and you're letting them go little by little. And when people come back to you and tell you stuff like that, it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I did that.
That's right. You did that.
Yeah, I did that. Like, I did that. I participated in this kid's greatness as to who he is, but because I let him. I
Yeah.
gave him that independence. And I think parents, they coddle the child too much. They oh my God, I'm so afraid you're gonna get hurt. I'm so afraid they're gonna say something. And they don't give them the chance to flourish and be themselves,
Mhm.
because now they're carrying your fears. They're carrying your stuff,
Yes.
you know and
Yes.
as a parent, that's the job, to let them become more of themselves as time goes by. And by doing that with Wani, is teaching me how to be with the other two children,
I
and
love it.
them giving them the voice. How do you feel? Like, what did you think about that? Asking those questions to allow them to express their feelings, you
Yeah.
know and
Yeah.
then knowing who they are.
Yeah. I love that
Yeah.
because it is so important.
It's so I didn't get that. You know what I mean? We didn't get that.
No, not at all.
It's
My
because
sister
I
didn't
said,
get that.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I said, so go somewhere with yourself.
Yes.
Stop asking me questions.
Right.
And it's something that I always told myself, I'm gonna let my kids just be. And I know with Wani, I questioned it because of his situation, but I knew as the years were going by, I saw that he was showing me the way. And that's another thing. I stepped back at 3 years of age when he was three. When I came around into his special need, it took me 2 years to really wrap my head around his condition and around him, and allowing myself to sit back, because then he started showing me things and I was like, oh, you can do that? Oh, okay. And
Right.
by allowing him, I'm just watching, like, okay, let me get this pen and paper. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And
Yeah.
that's how it went. he started to just show me and show me and show me as I moved back and fell back and fell back, and now he is his own person with disciplines of other people, but he is his own. Wani is his own person.
I love that, and I have a question to that too.
Sure.
Especially now that he is 15 and he is growing into manhood, and how are you keeping yourself in check, or what is your plan to
Whew.
keep yourself in check as he continues to get older? Because next comes dating, next comes
Whew.
I want to go away to school, I all of these things. How do you keep that side of you, or how do you plan on keeping that side of you under control? Because you've set a foundation now that you let this young man be who he wants to be. How are you going to keep it in a world that will make you want to pull down?
Oh my God. And that, when you said that, that's exactly what came into my
Yep.
head, is that this world is so unkind,
Mhm.
and I am very clear with the kids. I tell, like, this world is not kind. You need to be hyper aware of this world. But I'm asking God for help and guidance
Mhm.
in this time, and also to just allow me to continue doing what I'm doing, and now stepping into another level, because this past summer he went to a camp and he was there for a month, in a camp called Visions. It's for visually impaired people. It's a
Okay.
camp that you stay for 4 weeks. You get fed, you have activities,
Uh-huh.
laundry. They teach them how to do laundry. They teach them a lot of independence.
Okay.
And my God, when I told my siblings, two of them were bawling. Like, how could you do this? You're letting him go by himself. And you know how that feels as a parent? It's like, oh God, you know,
Right.
but
Like,
you
I made a
have
mistake.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you're
Yeah.
second guessing,
Yeah.
but your spirit, I really feel that when you have, oh God, Jesus, thank you. But just when you have him guiding you and helping you, and you're putting your trust in him in ways that you never thought you would put your trust in God,
Right.
because this child is not with you physically.
Yeah.
Okay. And this child cannot see like everyone else, and he's in a whole nother world. To allow myself, I said, okay, I first of all, I did speak to the powers that be there, and I said, listen, okay, so how is this going to work? And I've known the person, the director. I knew her for a couple of years now, and that helped greatly, to have those relationships of people you've known for years.
Yeah.
And I said to her, okay, so what's up? How's this going to work? Because I need your help, and I need your number, and I need you on speed dial. So what's up? And she laid everything down, how everything was going to be. I have raised Wani this past summer to this point, to be who he is as an individual.
Yeah.
And I always say, my husband and I, we've raised him in a way to know he can independently take care of himself. If he's in a room by himself, as long as he knows where everything is, he's going to groom himself and be fine, right?
Right.
So we have prepared him already for this stage by letting go so many years back. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
So by letting go little by little as we did, we now felt he's ready. And my husband looked at me, he said, look, he's going to be fine.
Right.
Grace, you know he got this, right? Yeah. I know he got this. Stuttering, but I know he got it. You know what I'm saying?
I
And,
do. Yeah.
and so when we got to the space, we laid everything out. My husband took reign. Okay, Wani, here's the bathroom. Here's this, here's that. You're gonna put stuff here, here, here. Being that you're by yourself, you wherever you put it, it will be there when you trying to look for it. We spoke every night and every morning by phone,
Right.
video. There was times he would forget. I would go off. Don't you spend a day, not a day, without calling me. Do you hear me?
Oh
Oh,
Lord, I
I'm
can
sorry, but he was
imagine.
having so much fun. But
Right.
the most emotional and beautiful thing that happened in this summer camp for me, that gave me this feeling of his maturity, is when we went to the store to get him a cap, for the, I was like, look, it's really hot out there. You have to keep your head covered, the sun and everything. He said, okay. We went to buy the hat. He knew how much it cost, everything. And I said, take care of this hat, Wani, because items for blind people, it's hard. It's hard to
Right.
keep track of everything on you, on your person.
Right.
So he went to Great Adventures. And so he came back from Great Adventures. So I texted him and I said, how did it go? How did the trip go? It went well, but I got some bad news. And I was like, what happened? He said, I went on a ride with my cap and I lost it. And I was like, you lost your cap? You're cold? Go under the sheets. Go in the blanket.
Eyes are here.
Yeah, you cold. Go under the blanket. So on the couch, okay? Close my door. Close the door, Papi. Close the door. Thank you. Why he pushed the door? Like,
Okay, he's like, look, I need you to help get these blankets together.
Bring
She's
it.
almost done. We're almost done.
He got it. He got it. So and I said, you lost your cap? He said, yes, but you know that I get a stipend. So I'm gonna pay for that hat. I'm gonna pay. Listen, I bawled.
Yeah.
And I was at a restaurant. I was just sitting there just holding my face because he was like, don't worry. And I don't want you to get mad because I got money and I'm going to use the money that I'm getting here to buy another cat because it was my responsibility to take care of it. And I didn't.
That's sweet.
I said, listen, G, I said, man, this boy right here, really stepping up to his responsibilities. And then I said, okay,
yeah,
I'm so glad you said that. I think that's a good idea for you to do that with the money, and that's great. I love you, and that was
he's
it.
got it. He's got it.
He's
got it.
Oh,
That's wonderful.
That's so great.
Yeah, I was going to say you can't beat that kind of knowledge of self. So
Right.
It sounds like you have raised a wonderful young man who is just going to continue to blow your mind as he continues to get older.
Right. And that's the beauty of letting it go.
Yes.
So you can sit back and be like, okay. I didn't know.
And I love that you said that because I think a lot of parents need to understand that whether you have special needs children or not, you have to at some point trust that you did everything as a parent that you're supposed to do, and you've got to let it go. You got to let your children live, and they're going to make mistakes, but we all made mistakes.
Right.
And it's going to be okay.
Right. And to answer that question, it's really that. It's just to continue what I'm doing, sitting more into my faith.
Yes.
That we've done the job.
Yes.
The way we were supposed to as parents, and having God just continue to guide me with that. And my mama too, who's in heaven. So
yes, because honey, you got to have all those angels are surrounding traveling mercies, honey.
Yes. Carry this child.
Yes.
Let's continue the work that we're doing with him. Yes. And he never has separation anxiety. Never, ever, ever. He was 2 years old. He would be like, bye, Mom, and walk off. And I'm sitting there just like, oh.
Yeah.
But he was always that way. So for me, I feel I got 3 more years.
Oh, yeah. And
that's it.
Yeah.
He's out. And I could see him traveling the world fearlessly because that's who he always was. He was always that kid who always wanted to explore. And I think because of his sight, he would be in a space and he let me go. And he would just touch everything, everything, because he was exploring all the time. And I think that's what his life is going to be like. He wants to go to Juilliard. He's like, I want to go to Juilliard. I want to go to Juilliard. I want to go to Juilliard. Okay, so let's go to Juilliard. Let's go. Yeah. Right. And it's in New York.
Yes. So he'll be close. Jesus. Yeah.
He'll be close and he'll have a choice to stay there or come home.
Yeah.
On a daily basis, and we'll see how that works out. But he's just that dude. He's that dude that just wants to, and I'm loving every minute of it.
I love it. And I was going to say, you sound like you're that mom.
Yeah.
So I admire and am inspired by you. So I have one final question before I let you go.
Yes.
What is one thing that you would want You know what? I'm gonna switch it.
Okay.
What is one thing that you want your legacy to be?
Oh God, Jesus. I would want my legacy to be pure inspiration. I want my legacy to be seen as she she had she had a situation in her life, and she did the best that she could with it, and she allowed the guidance of God and the guidance of people who she knew would help her. She opened herself up and set herself aside to be that, to be that inspiration for parents with special needs children, and that she left a legacy being a special mother to a special child, and know that she knew that she was a special person to have a special kid, two special kids at that.
Absolutely, you got 3, honey. All your babies are special.
Yeah, hello, they're
They're
all special.
amazing. They're
Exactly.
all gonna do some amazing things.
Exactly. But the thing is, like,
Yeah.
the situation didn't take her. It didn't She didn't become that. She went above that to help others and to help mostly this child who led the way, you know.
Yeah, I love it. And I'm so glad that we had a chance to have this conversation today. I am
Finally.
I know, and it was perfect. It was. And
Yeah.
Zaire is beautiful. So thank you for
Oh,
letting
thank
us see
you.
his face. And
You saw his
guys,
lashes. Oh,
oh, he's so adorable. So I will make sure this video is posted on my YouTube so everyone can see your beautiful son
oh,
and just see your energy. So I want to thank you. I guess my other last question before we wrap up is where can everybody find you? So give us like the deets, like how can we connect
yeah.
with you?
I'm at Braille Code Inc. on Instagram and Facebook. The book you can find on Amazon is called What's Cool About Braille Code School. And at this point, I have a patent, and I invented labels in Braille that has Braille and print to help blind and sighted people find their shoes, find their pairing of shoes through a number system as well. It has number pairing systems with right and left. And yeah, that's in the works. And I'm actually working for clothes as well, putting Braille on clothes. So I'm very excited about it. It's pending, it's getting there.
Oh, I love it.
It takes 2 years. So I'm on my way with that as well. So that's how you can find me. And also for schools, any schools that are looking to have an inspiration of awareness for blind and visually impaired, for sighted kids to have awareness on that, reach out to me. You can DM me, you can email me at brocobrands@gmail.com.
Awesome. And I will make sure all of Gracie's information is in the show notes. So I want to thank you for this time today. It was magical and you are an amazing woman. So I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank you so much. Take care.
Take care.
Okay.